So we're hunting a Sandsquatch.
I don't know what we're gonna find out there. I don't even know what we're really looking for.
Hello and welcome to Bad Movie Reviews. Today we're going to be discussing Legend of the Sandsquatch. No, not Bigfoot. This is some anorexic version of him that lives in the sands. Well, this movie is somewhat original, but mostly it's crap. Seems when Sue's grandfather doesn't come home for his birthday party, she eventually gets around to going to look for him at his hunting cabin. And he hunts in the desert. What he's supposed to be hunting is something of a mystery, but he's secretly hunting the Sandsquatch. If that sounds kind of silly, yeah, that's actually the best part of the film. She has, the Sue girl has a boyfriend named Kenny who's in a band, and of course they're a punk band, and he promptly cheats on her, and all this other, semi-needed backstory before we eventually get out to the desert, where, Sue and her old friend Garrett, go with, some friend of hers and her brother. Yeah, it's very convoluted. And of course they find the Sandsquatch, who promptly goes on a killing spree. Yeah, the plot's very convoluted and in places. It's overall simplistic. It's kids going out to the desert to find somebody and they find the monster. But they try and make it more than that. As far as the acting goes, Garrett was the guy that played Garrett was really good. The guy that played Bruce was really good. I liked that Bruce referred to himself in third person. It was kind of funny. It was one of the only funny parts of the movie. The guy that played Kenny was pretty good. And the guy that played the gas station attendant, Jim Wallace, he was really good. He's kind of the Deus Ex of the show, because the ending of this movie is fucking stupid. Excuse my language. It was stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But so was most of the rest of the movie. Budget-wise, this clearly had a budget like a sci-fi film. Very low, very, very low budget film. They were using whatever they had access to, which is fine. It worked in a few situations, others not so much. The special effects were almost non-existent. There were a couple of obvious green screen shots, or at least they looked green screen, and they weren't looking real well done. The lighting was pretty good overall. The soundtrack was pretty good. Actually, the soundtrack was probably the best part of this movie for me. The old man makeup for the grandfather, you could tell he was a young person wearing makeup, because they used candlelight in the scene, and it really highlighted the glue and prosthesis they were using in the shot, and it looked really, really fake. I give them credit for trying. It probably would have looked okay with some better lighting, but I think the director probably was trying to go for a mood shot. But if they had done a little different lighting from slightly off screen, that probably would have worked better. And there were some sort of dreamlike sequences where the grandfather was talking and the Sandsquatch was hovering over him in a mist. That shot worked pretty well for me. I thought that was pretty good. But later on, like toward the end of the movie, it got lamer and lamer as it went. Like, they put all their money into those first couple of shots, and the rest were just kind of like, let's half-ass it and fix it in post. The bright lighting shots showed the digitization, where they were clearly shooting on digital, and it pixelated slightly along edge lines, and that for me kind of was garbage. Some of the camera angles were pretty good. overall the cinematography wasn't too bad, but the camera guy clearly didn't use a tripod sometimes, and there was like some shaky hand syndrome, like he had Parkinson's or something. It just didn't work real well at times, but the angles were pretty good, and I could tell they were putting an effort in. They just either were missing equipment, or somebody was new at this, and they were trying really hard. They just weren't executing very well at times. And the fact that the Sandsquatch had a massive patch of pubes was really kind of disturbing, haunting, I would even say. That'll haunt your nightmares. And you could see his dingler occasionally, just didn't, as it flopped around. That was weird. But the pube patch, that's wow. Everything else, let's see. There was a weird watermark that I noticed in the film. It was like the image of a face superimposed on the video. I don't know if that was to mark something or if that was intentional. But if you watch the scene closely where Sue goes to the refrigerator near the beginning of the movie, right before she takes down the balloons for the birthday party, on the side of the fridge, there's an impression of a face. It just appears for a second, and it's like a digital watermark. I didn't know what the hell that was all about, and I don't really care. I was just pointing it out because it was weird, and I noticed it, and I had to rewind and check it out. As far as the body count goes, there were about 7 bodies plus the Sandsquatch. And of course, there's a sequel set up, which... yeah, spoiler alert. Really, this movie gets a sequel. I might cry because aside from a few standout, like decent acting jobs, this movie was pretty tepid. I don't even really think I could sit down and power through this making fun of it. I'd make it about halfway before it just got really annoying. The main character, Sue, no offense to her, but the actress, her voice was a little annoying. It was a little shrill at times. And, I don't know, the whole love story thing didn't really work for me. I would have watched a whole movie about the Bruce. He seemed pretty cool. But, yeah, body count was around 7. As boobs go, there were 2 sets. Blonde was real cute with some perky fakies. But... yeah, that didn't really help the movie too much. They were shown very close together early in the movie, about half an hour in, I think. And didn't save it. Didn't save the movie a bit. Nope, this one for me was a pass. I wouldn't recommend it too highly. Maybe if you're having a movie marathon and you want to take a nap or something, miss half the movie, you could probably watch this one. But there was a good effort put forth overall, but I think the script really needed a little tightening up. The pacing was okay. It was just boring, so it wasn't particularly exciting. The soundtrack was good, like I said, but overall it was just kind of a swing and a miss. These guys were trying hard, but they weren't executing well. And the term Sandsquatch is kind of stupid because it doesn't flow real well, at least to me. I thought it was kind of dumb. Yeah, I don't know. I can't recommend this one, even for a good mockery session. This was just terrible. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But if you see it on Sci-Fi or Chiller or one of the other channels, maybe check it out, but do it while you're doing something else. It's not really going to hold your attention. Most of the acting was pretty terrible. They're clearly not. If these were people trying to be actors, they might want to have a day job lined up, because maybe for theater work they would do okay, but yeah, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it, and the box art really was better than the movie, honestly, because the prosthesis on the bodies didn't look as good in the film as it does in the box art. And the Sandsquatch looked really good. I'll give him credit for that. He looked really cool, except for the weird pube patch. That bothered me because it went up to his belly, and he needs to trim that crap. This isn't the 70s anymore. So, yep, I'm going to give this one a miss, and we're going to wrap this up. If you like what you heard, if you like my recommendations, give it a like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill. What everybody else says on these things. And we'll see you next time on Bad Movie Review. Thanks for listening.